Greetings. How are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are having a blessed Sunday or Monday, wherever you are located in this world. Wow. I'm just, something just dropped in my ruach, and I was like, I have to share it with you guys. And you could take it, leave it, whatever. But oh my gosh, it was incredible. It was just absolutely incredible, right? So, I was just thinking about, I'm mesmerized. I'm still highly mesmerized and surprised about the hatred of anything and everything and everyone African by the West. But the West depends upon Africa for so much. For so much. For its livelihood, for its oil, for its coffee, diamonds, cobalt, all of the technologies, all of the minerals that are needed to produce the phones and the computers and just everything. Everything. Motherland, Africa takes care of the world. Yet the world continues to try to oppress and hate and denigrate and downplay everything that's African. It saddens me that my people in America who just totally disengage themselves from anything African. They deny their African roots and heritage, and they almost hate Africa. And I'm like, how can you hate who you are? I'm over here and I'm seeing people that look just like us, but you hate yourself. You hate where you come from. Oh, there's the argument of, there's always been black people in the Americas, we Native American, blah 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 blah. And I'm willing to even entertain the notion and the theory that there were Africans in North America prior to the transatlantic slave trade. I'll give you that. Maybe it's true, maybe. Okay? But then the question arises, how did you get there? You were not born. You were not created on what is now known as American soil. You may have migrated there at some point prior to the transatlantic slave trade, since you don't want to you want to totally disavow yourself and say, hey, I didn't come from slaves. My people been here, and my people slept with Native Americans, and I'm indigenous to the United States of America. I'm Native American. The question still lends itself to, how did you get to America? What is now known as America? Is it possible that you migrated from what is now known as Africa to what is now known as America? Our people have always been migratory people. So it's very, very possible that there may have been a group of people from the continent, from here, that came to the West because people from Africa migrated all over. The people that, the highest concentration, if you will, of Africans that ended up being transported or migrated, to use your word, from Africa, did so due to slave trades. And I used the word trades in its plural sense. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. So you may not have been descended from slaves, but you were descended from Africa. In the way that you deny your own paternity, your own heritage, your own ancestry. I've said this in the prior videos that I've made, that when there is a question of paternity, a DNA test always clears it up. If there is a question about your true ancestry, a DNA test will clear it up. It will give answers. But I find it funny that a lot of people that want to disavow and disengage from anything African and want to say, no, I'm not African. No, I'm not African. No, I'm not African. They will not take a DNA test. They will refuse to take a DNA test to just find out once and for all, where do I come from? Where did my people come from? Where did my ancestors come from? If your theory is true, then the DNA test will prove that you were descended from Native Americans, that you were born on what is now known as American soil. Your ancestors were born on American soil, not African. A DNA test will prove that. AfricanAncestry.com is the best DNA testing to find this out, by the way. I'm not saying that the other ones are faulty or bad, but I believe that African Ancestry will give you the fine-tuned results that you may be looking for. If you are brave and courageous enough to take a DNA test to prove once and for all your ancestry. Anyway, I don't think a lot of people, of our people, realize that it's just as much an act of white supremacy to deny your African heritage. It's just as much an act of white supremacy as the KKK, the formation of the KKK, the formation and creation of Jim Crow laws, the creation and propagation and support of the slavery, chattel slavery, which our ancestors were a part of. Because whether you came on a ship or whether you were already here, if you had melanin in your skin, those white folks that came over on the ships, they didn't care. You were sold into slavery. And your ancestors, and no matter where they came from, if you had melanin, you were a slave at some point. But I don't want to belabor that point. My main point is that a DNA test will clear up any and all questions and doubts about your heritage. And it's just as if you refuse to find out where you come from, who you are descended from, and if you continue to hate everything African and fight everything African and downplay and denigrate everything African, you are just as much a white supremacist as the people that wore the white sheets in church and had church and preached sermons and then went out and lynched Negroes and barbecued them and had them as dinner, potluck dinner on Sunday. You're just as much as a white supremacist as them. Why? Because they hate. You know why they hate anything African? Do you know why the white man hates any and everything African? Because they know deep down inside all of mankind started right here on the continent. The Garden of Eden is right here on the continent. Adam and Eve were melanated people. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And they hate the fact that they are descendant from people who they hate. They hate themselves. And because they hate themselves, They want you to hate yourself. So because they hate everything African, brother, sister, they want you to hate it. It's time for you to accept who you are, to find out who you are and accept and embrace